All right. Well, everybody, I got in a Trimui Brick, so I'm going to do a comparison on these and talk about the brick. But what I want to do is compare the brick to the Analog Pocket and the Miyu Mini V4. All right. The reason I'm doing this is I believe the Miyu Mini has one of the best screens for handhelds under 60 bucks. It's very well saturated. It's great looking. It's, you know, the colors are great. The brightness is great. Everything. I love that screen. It's one of my favorites for under 60. Now, I just got the brick in last night, and I've been using it since then. I do have it loaded up with MinUI, so it probably looks different from yours. And, of course, I have my Analog Pocket sitting over here. Now, typically, a lot of people in this situation are going to do like a startup test. How fast can I get into the game? I don't care. You can wait an extra couple seconds, to get into a game, depending on the handheld you want. So let's start off real quick. This is your $219 price range, handheld screen. That's what we're going to look at here. This one right here, depending on where you get it, you're looking typically 60, which we're gonna go over this later, but 60 to upwards of $90. And this guy right here, you're looking at about 40 bucks or less. So let's look at these screens. Let's start up a link to the past, and with the Miyu, I have to lift it up or it'll hit a back button. That's a whole nother thing. So here we go. Now I have them all on max brightness, to be fair. All right, as you can see, the Miyu is a little darker brightness-wise. It's definitely darker. The colors are not bad. It's dark, so with that kind of a brightness level, you'll have more issues in direct sunlight playing the Miyu Mini V4 over one of these two. Let's hit start here. You can see the green difference between the analog and the Trimui, and then the green difference between the Trimui and the Miyu Mini. There's the yellow. Now, oddly enough, I know through camera this is starting to not look that great, but I can honestly tell you in person, this is one of the best screens I've seen in a handheld sub $100 category. Absolutely amazing. You're going to have a hard time believing this screen is not OLED. I've been calling it an FOLED for FakeOLED screen. It's phenomenal. I honestly think it's on par with the Analog Pocket screen. I mean, if you make some contrast adjustments, you'll get the same saturation and colors on this one. Everything is crisp, it's clear, the screen is phenomenal. And I've always loved the Miyu Mini V4 screen wise, especially for the price range, that 60 or that $40 price range. The Miyu's unbeatable. And there's my work phone, which I'm going to completely ignore my work duties for this video. Anyway, so back to this. So this is $219. This is the screen you're going to get. Like I said, this is between 60 and 90 depending on where you go, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. And this is your $40 option at the Miyu Mini. I will say all three of these have amazing screens. There's not another handheld under $100 that competes with these two. 200 bucks, you're going to be able to find handhelds that are right there with this one, OLED models and everything. So sadly, this is less of a competitor, but this is FPGA. You can put your own cards in it, so that has some different pros to it. So when it comes to the Trimui, and I know it's all unstable because I'm in my work office and I'm holding the camera. Let's pick this guy up. All right, when it comes to the Trimui, like I said, I did load up MinUI for it, or had MinUI loaded up. Thanks, buddy. Anyway, So I want to talk about the similarities here with the analog pocket and the Trimui Brick. Now, if you look at the bottom here, there's your analog symbol in the middle. So you get start, select, and your menu button, right? Now you go over to the Trimui, you get start, select, and your menu button. This throws me off. I do prefer the menu button to be in the middle. It's a small thing I don't necessarily like about this. I would like these two to be swapped. That is what it is. This is not start and select. This is L3, R3, and functions. Now, on the side, you get your nice function button. This is operating as a mute switch for me. Your green power button. I wonder where they got that idea from. Anyway, you got your green power button, your volume button on the analog over here. You got my mute switch, your green power button. Volume. On the back, get this nice textured grip. Now, the L2 and R2 on mine are not the stock ones. The L1 and R1 are the ones that came on the device, and these just slide off. I only have one hander I'd show you, but you just pop these off and pop new ones on, kind of like Legos. But I use these L2 and R2 because when I'm playing a game, I can feel the difference right there, and I know where my finger's resting. I don't have any issues with that. It's actually been working out. Now, this is an LED light. The accents around the L2 and R2, those light up also. And then these two function buttons, L2 or L3, R3, they also light up. Now I'm using MINUI. That actually does more or less disable your LEDs for now. Later, once they get some better custom stuff for it, I'll try that out and hopefully regain LED function. Now also on the back, you get this little aluminum plate. Kind of feels nice when you got your fingers back here resting. It's nice and smooth surface. I have never felt this handheld get hot. I have never felt any kind of heat come off of this thing. It's lightweight also, but not too lightweight. It's a good in-between weight-wise. So it's not so light that you feel like it's a cheap piece of shit, but it's not overly heavy where you think they got lead weights in this thing to, act like it's heavy. It's a good size. It really is. It's going to actually fall right between the regular Miyoo Mini V4 here and a Miyoo Mini Plus. The Miyoo Mini Plus is closer to this. It's just a little bit bigger. So the V4 is still smaller, great screen on it, never going to knock that. And I mean, if you're a collector of actual physical copies of games from the Game Boy era, even Game Gear, if you have the adapters, Neo Geo Pocket Color, you're always good with an analog pocket since you can play all those on this. When you get into Game Gear and whatnot, you need special, very, very costly adapters for it, which I don't do. I do have Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games I like to put in this at home and, get that nostalgia going. But when it comes to the brick, in the night I've had it, I have to say I've fallen in love with this thing. I love this screen. This is going to be an unfair comparison, especially for the analog. Let's pull up Star Ocean. Actually, let me pull my stand out. Ignore the stand. I normally have it set up to where you can't see it, but we're going to prop it up anyway. Let's move the analog out the way. Let's lay that down right there. Close the analog out, power it down. Miyoo Mini, get out of my way. Alright. So I'm going to kill some brightness here, which you just got to hold the menu button and use the volume. But look at this thing. I know it's hard to see on my camera, but when I turned on Star Ocean, the second story, I was just blown away by the color on this thing. I believe I just turned down the brightness by holding select, so I guess that works too. But the colors on it, the saturation, I mean, it is just beautiful, especially for PlayStation. I mean, these colors are amazing. You're gonna think you're looking at an OLED screen, and it almost feels like the screen itself is set back in the device a little bit more, and then there's a nice glass cover over it, and the glass cover almost feels like it magnifies a little bit. I know that's not the case unless somebody knows something I don't, but it gives it kind of this depth to the screen that it really kind of immerses you, and I haven't seen that on a handheld like this, well, ever. If you pick one of these up, you'll know what I'm talking about when you look at it. Especially on a PlayStation, you feel like you're looking into a window almost, like it's kind of boxed out. It's hard to explain. Or I'm just completely fucking crazy, but it's amazing. So, now, gameplay-wise, when you're holding this, I still get some cases the pinky still comes out and supports the handheld, but because of the weight, it's not a problem. My hands don't really get cramped holding the back of it at all, like the way I play it. I've been holding it just like this, or I've been kind of cupping around it and playing like that. It's absolutely an amazing handheld for the price. Trimui just did it, man. This is the best handheld they've released. Now, we're talking going back to the Trimui Model S, which was a wretched piece of shit. The Trimui Smart, which was a dumbass way to try and get more sales. That thing was stupid also. And then they got the Trimui Smart Pro. Everybody loved the Smart Pro. I wasn't a super big fan of it because of the Vita sticks. Those things looked like they were going to snap right off, and they came from Play School. Other than that, the device was great. It had the all-winter A133 chip in it, just like this. So this right here, internals, this is your Trimui Smart Pro in a small vertical form factor. It is amazing. This is the best they've ever done. It's going to be really hard for them to beat this. They killed this one. They knocked this one out the park. I mean, with that, you know, even barring a couple things I don't like the placement of the menu button. I will say on the bottom, you got your single SD card slot, your reset, your USB, and your 3.5 jack. Now, the reset button is recessed in there. You can't hit it just by pressing it at all. You can't hit that. So you need something to kind of poke at it. So if you ever get jammed up, you're always going to be able to find something to be able to stab in there anyway. But if you ever get jammed up, you can't just hit it. Now, I know why they did it. They did it because they don't want your finger being down here and accidentally hitting reset while you're playing a game. Honestly, it's a little, you know, it's a little frustrating. I'd like to have seen it moved to a different side. I get it. It looks clean. It's nice. It's a small thing I don't like, just like the menu button. And it's really hard. I can't even take away points over that. Other than that, it's amazing. The screen is, yeah, it's that good. I haven't been this excited about a vertical handheld in a long time. I think the Analog Pocket was the last vertical I was super excited about and fell in love with. And this is, you know, half the price, less than half the price of the Analog Pocket. So, speaking of price, let's talk about shopping for one of these. All right. I'm going to go over a few things. And honestly, the price point this is at, if you shop around and buy the right one, I feel like it's worth every penny. The issue we're going to see with this, and this is not people in the handheld community. People in the handheld community, they know what this is. They know what people are saying about it. I hit my camera. Anyway, so they're going to go seeking this specifically. But let's shop from the point of view of your wife, a father, somebody that doesn't know anything. They know a name. They know Trimui Brick handheld. And they're going to go shop for that. And they're going to Google, they're going to search, they're going to find. And this is what we're going to come across. So what we're going to see is this price point for a small vertical handheld versus this price point for a small vertical handheld versus the 35XX small vertical handheld. So the issue is they don't know anything about this. They don't know how good the screen is. Even though it says something about the screen on there, they're not advertising it enough. So you're not going to see those kind of sales because for less than this, they can get a 35XX. For half of this, they can get a Miu Mini V4. For less than this, they can get a Miu Mini Plus, which is a stupid decision. The Miu Mini Plus the screen doesn't even remotely come close to either of these. Don't do that to yourself. The Mini Plus sucks. Anyway, so let's talk about it. So this is the site I've shown you a million times and less interested in using. Here's your Go Game Geek. Now, I tried to make this fair. I tried to pick black 64 gig on every site. All right? Go Game Geek will sell you this thing, $89.99, free shipping. Lit NXT, Lit NXT, black stock operating system, $89.99. Mech DIY, $119. No, I'm kidding. Black 64 gig, $89.99. Powkitty's direct website, $69.99. Right there, $20 cheaper, but you're going to pay for shipping from here. So let's say $89.99 is the ballpark, $90, okay? You go shipping on this, $70 plus shipping, probably $10-15. You're still in the $85-$90 ballpark. So let's work around that. We'll say $80-$85. So here's our problem. When people go to buy this, they're going to see this and go, okay, vertical handheld, $70 plus shipping, $90 free shipping. Oh, black 64 gig, vertical handheld, $42 from MIUI's official store on AliExpress. So I can get two of these. So I can get one, I can buy two of these and cover two people for Christmas for the price of a Trimui Brick. Ambernick's website, 35XX, black 64 gig, $43.49 during a sale, $50 without the sale. Now, the only issue with Ambernick's actual website is their shipping is so high. Their shipping is ridiculous. Even if you get something in the U.S. and you're in the U.S. and it's a state away or whatever, it's still like $20-$30 for shipping. Fix that, dumbass. Anyway, so here's where we're at. $40, $40, 80, 90 after shipping. I mean, to be fair, that's going to be $63 after shipping, but it's still going to be cheaper than this. So we're going to see that being a problem for your, don't know anything typical buyer, someone that's just looking for a gift for somebody in this hobby. And that's sad. Would I pay this price and add shipping for it? Is it that good? Yeah, it is. It's absolutely that good. It's weird. It feels like it's right where it should be price-wise. I don't think we would get this good of a screen if we went down in price. I know that's hard to say because $40 MIUI Mini V4 screen. You know what I mean? But you all know MIUI's history was, having inventory to sell their buyers. These go out of stock because they can't keep up with this little screen because it's an amazing little screen. I don't know. Are we going to see problems with this screen in the future because of how popular this is getting, especially around the holidays? I mean, Trimui did it smart. Good time of year for it. You're hitting the holiday market. All the big YouTubers, clearly not me, are making buying guides, which I still haven't done because honestly, let's be fair, most of my videos get 3 to 8 views, and if you guys need a buying guide, just comment. So anyway, it was a good plan. They did great, and having options like MIUI, cross mix, which yes, there's a cross mix version. You can get the card off of Go Game Geek, Lit NXT, Mech DIY. There's some bugs with cross mix still with this. They'll work them out, which is why me and my sponsor are going with MIUI. It's clean, it's simple, it's nice. Now the D-pad, not prone to false diagonals. I can tell you that much. I'm not going to sit there and do the contra test. Haven't had really any false diagonals with it. The buttons are feel a little smaller than your typical handheld. Definitely a little smaller. But I never miss an input. I never accidentally get 2 of them unless I want to. It's great. The only thing I accidentally press on this is menu for select. I do that all the time. I got to get used to that being right here and menu on the outside. But it's comfortable. It plays what you expect it to play, you know, up to PlayStation. And I hate saying, you know, like N64, because N64 is not meant for handheld. N64 is not comfortable for handheld, so let's stop including it, people. I know everybody wants it, but let's be real. Even if it can play it, it's not a very good experience just because of the control scheme. So you're going to get what you expect from it. So think 35XX and it's, you know, what it can play. That's what you're getting here with the All-Winner A133. Do I think you should pick it up this year? Do I think you should add this to your collection? With the branding all over it, Trimui Brick, Trimui Brick, it's a brick, Trimui Brick, logo on the back, Trimui Brick. Yeah, I think you should pick it up. I think it's a good purchase. Whether you get stuck buying it for $80 or you get lucky and find it, see that, oh look, we got some light up when it goes to sleep. Anyway, whether you get it for $80 or you get it, you know, on some kind of a deal for $50, it's worth it. I'm actually still excited to see the red and the purple one release. I kind of dig the red. I kind of dig the red and the purple. I can't lie. I dig those colors still. It's a good enough handheld that I want to collect all four. That's excessive as shit and nobody needs them. But damn if I don't want all four of them because I'm a collector. Which collector is a nice way of putting it to your wife when what you really mean is I like spending money on stupid shit that nobody needs. So we call it, you know, collecting. No, it just means I like spending money on stupid shit that I'm probably never going to use. But don't tell them that. They think it's a hobby. It's not. It's just a way to kill time and blow money and you know, feel good about myself for buying shit. You know, some people have shopping problems. I don't. I only have a shitload of handhelds. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this video. If you want to see something specific played on this, let me know. I know I gave you a quick overview. I showed you some title screens, and I didn't really play on it. But given I'm at work and don't have time to do that right now, networking, and working for an internet company this season is tough for me. I'm busy all the time. I don't have a lot of off time. So doing gameplay videos that are an hour and 2 hour long, that's tough. Like even right now, I've missed like 3-4 calls because I've made a 22-minute video. You know, I got to go call those people back and get my ass to work. So it makes it tough. So if you want to see something specific, let me know. I'll do my absolute best. I'll make you a video showcasing exactly what you want to see. And if you want to see something like how does it, you know, what's the battery life? What does it do this? Speaking of battery life, I got it yesterday. My wife played on it for an hour. I played on it for hours. And I just realized I've never plugged it in. I have never plugged this in. Wow, that's awesome. That's good battery life. So now, granted, if I'm running probably PS1 nonstop, it'd probably eat that alive. But anyway, go for it. And like I said, if you need something, if you want something specific, just message me. I'm going to get my ass back to work. This is the Retro Legion. Y'all have a good day. No, it's Monday. Nobody's having a good day. So just get the hell through Monday. See you guys next time.